Hello and welcome to this webinar on Romeo and Juliet. We're looking at Romeo in Act 3. We want to understand his character through quotations, link these quotations to themes that run throughout the play, and also analyse them using subject terminology. Act 3 is the turning point. Like every tragedy, it's the turning point where everything goes downhill. At the beginning of Act 3, Scene 1, Tybalt has challenged Romeo to a duel, to a fight, perhaps to the death. But Romeo says, "And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly my own, be satisfied." Here, although he is calm, he is confident. He is maintaining peace and he is refusing to fight. He's trying to placate Tybalt. He's trying to say, listen, I understand that I've done you injuries by coming to your house uninvited, because he did in the ball, Act 1. But he's saying, look, I respect you too much. Let's try and resolve this peacefully. So this is about family honor, and Shakespearean audiences at the time would have understood that as the oldest male of his household and the oldest male of the Capulet, the Montague household and Capulet household, they had to show their reputation. And the fact that Romeo is saying that he is as dear or as good as a Montague is actually a great term of respect. Now, the theme of reconciliation is really very important, and we can see it running throughout. At the beginning in Act 1, Scene 1, Benvolio is the peacemaker. He tries to reconcile the warring parties in the street brawl. Here, Romeo tries to take on this role of reconciliation, and at the end, the death of the two young people create this ideal situation where they are reconciled by the prince and by Friar Lawrence. When we think about subject terminology, we look at this word good, this adjective good. It shows that he is paying his respect to Tybalt. But it's ironic because we know that Tybalt is anything but good. Tybalt is someone who wants to cause damage, and he says that he hates peace. So he's not a good character. We also see that he says that Tybalt's name of Capulet he tenders as dearly as his own. Because of dramatic irony, we know as the audience that he tenders it as dearly as his own because he's joined his own name. He's married Juliet that very afternoon. So that's why. But the word tender is money imagery. It's that idea of valuing or rating or seeing something as worth and having a treasure. And because he is now linked with the Capulet family through marriage, of course he would rate the name of Capulet as dearly as his own. And this idea of comparison as my own shows that connection and deference that he's trying to show. But the imperative is there that he's convinced that he must be listened to, be satisfied. We see a very different side to Romeo at the end of Act 1. After Tybalt has not been able to fight Romeo, he fights Mercutio and kills Mercutio. And because Romeo did not defend him, Romeo blames himself. Romeo not only is furious at the situation, he's disgusted at himself. And in this quotation, we can see that he rejects Christian values of mercy and forgiveness. He says this, "Away to heaven, respect, lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now." He's rejecting kindness, tolerance, love, compassion. To heaven, and he wants to be filled with fury and rage. Now, viewers at the time may well have understood this idea of revenge tragedy. Like any tragedy, you have good characters that turn bad. Romeo and Juliet that were respected, and they make all these decisions that make them turn bad. But the revenge tragedy is doubly difficult because whatever decision the avenger takes, he will have to turn bad by seeking revenge and seeking blood to pay for something else. He's turning bad. So the idea of revenge we can see is here, and we can see it throughout the whole of the play, starting perhaps in Act 1 with Tybalt and ending at the end where Romeo metes out his revenge to poor Paris, who was paying his respect at Juliet's grave. We can also see in terms of subject terminology, the imperatives, away to heaven, be my conduct. He's trying to take control. The personification of fury, fire-eyed fury, rage is going to be his guide. And the alliteration, fire-eyed fury, is infernal imagery. It reminds us of his hell, that this hellish anger is going to lead to his damnation. I hope you understand Romeo in Act 3 a bit better now. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time.